Coach, closing out the regular season at home against a Western Michigan team you played a couple of close games with last month over in Kalamazoo. Is trying to get some momentum built up towards the tournament. What are you kind of looking for out of these two games?
Well, we know Western's going to come in. They're very good hockey team, top team in the country for a reason. They come to you in waves and well-coached team. We've got to be ready just like any other weekend. And, playoff hockey for us has been here for a long time. That's what our conference is all about, is playing your best every weekend, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Your team had 7 guys score over the weekend, so scoring up and down the lineup. How important is that to see as you head closer to postseason play?
Well, you know what, Emily, I really like the way we're playing right now. We seem to be grasping some of the things that we've been talking about over the last month, and there's still some things that we can clean up in terms of details and stuff like that. When you play good teams like Duluth or Western or Denver or whoever, they don't need much room, and you give them a little bit, they'll take a whole lot on you, and you got to make sure that you're focused every step of the way. And we did a lot of good things this past weekend. We got to continue to build on that. We're going to play a very similar team in Western that comes to you in waves, like I said, and you have to focus on those little details every shift. And I keep telling the guys that there might be shifts where nothing happens, and that's a good thing. And there's going to be shifts where you're going to have to play without the puck, and there's going to be shifts where you're playing with the puck, and you're going to have to kill penalties. You're going to have to be focused on the power play. Everything is in play as it always is, but it's magnified now at this time of the year. So, continue to keep the energy in a good place and play hard for each other, and focus on your shift.
Would you classify special teams as on the things that you liked from this weekend, or the things you still want to see improved from this weekend?
Well, our power play, I thought, was, our power play's been clicking for a while now. It just hadn't been rewarded. Last weekend it was rewarded, especially Saturday. Our PK has done some good things. We're just kind of a little bit off right now, and again, those are things that are correctable. We just got to make sure that we're focused and doing those things in games. Whether it's your special teams or your breakouts or your forecheck or your neutral zone, everything's going to be a critical part of whether you advance or not. So we've got to sharpen up in all areas.
It was mentioned how in Kalamazoo they were close games, and heading into the third period, it was usually just like a 1-goal game or it was tied. So what's the key to a full 60 minutes this
Well,
weekend?
I believe both games were tied going in the third period, and they were hard-fought battles. And again, I think it came down to just special teams or 1 or 2 bounces here and there, and they can do that to you because their speed's very good up front, and they throw everything to the net. So you got to take away time and space, and you got to make plays when you do have the puck, and you got to take advantage of opportunities that you have. And like I said, this is a typical NCHC conference game that you got to bring your best, and we'll plan on doing that.
And then senior night on Saturday, just what has this class of seniors meant to your program?
Well, it's obviously a special weekend for them. 4 years goes by pretty quick. I told the freshmen today that, you're going to be in those shoes pretty soon, even though you think it's a long time away. But they've put their time in. They've been through a lot. They've always kept their head up high. They've worked hard. I can't be more proud of them than any other senior group. Obviously they're great representatives of our program and the brotherhood. And it's going to be a tough night Saturday, but we got to go out and play, and we got playoffs coming up, so we can. I'm sure I'll have some time with them after the season and reminisce a little bit, but right now we got to get ready for a couple of hard games.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Huts, obviously, last weekend result-wise, not what you were after, but seemed team really did a lot of good things going into the third period down the home stretch of both of those games with a chance to win against a pretty good Duluth team. Coming into this weekend against Western Michigan, team you also played some close games with on the road. What are some things you're looking to do to kind of build some momentum towards postseason next week?
Yeah, kind of like what you said. I think we did some really good things last weekend, but there's still a few details of our game that need to be cleaned up to seal games against good teams like Duluth or Western or anyone in our league for that matter. So, this week going into Western, we're looking to clean up some of our D zone and special teams, and like you said, I think it was just some of those small plays and small details on the stretch that cost us those games, because we played pretty good in both, but ultimately we weren't able to seal them. So focusing on D zone, getting in shot lanes and boxing out in front, and then on the flip side of things, getting pucks to the net, get bodies to the net, which I think we did a pretty good job of last week. We got some goals off of that. So just focusing on those little things, and the hard work will end up paying off.
You kind of mentioned it just a second ago, but what is the key to trying to limit the shots that your goalies are seeing, because they've been seeing a lot recently?
I think it starts in the neutral zone. We got to keep good gaps as defensemen. Force the puck out of their hands. Don't give them time and space to carry the puck in the zone, because forwards are good and skilled. They'll get to the middle on you if you give them the room, and they'll put shots through your feet, through your stick, whatever it may be. So I think we need to have really good tracking. That's something we're going to work on this week. I think it cost us a few goals last weekend, and then obviously our defensemen need to keep good gaps and get back to pucks and go and transition the other way.
What was working for the power play? Were pretty productive on the man advantage against a Duluth team that I think was number 1 in the country in terms of killing penalties off.
Yeah, I think we had a mindset going into the weekend that we were going to get pucks to the net, and I think that's exactly what we did. And on Saturday night, some of the shots we took didn't even make it all the way. They got blocked, but we picked up the rebound and we outnumbered them in front, and we scored some nice goals off of it. So, some weekends power plays have been going our way, but keeping a positive mindset and keeping it simple, and like I said, getting pucks to the net and bodies to the net, usually end up in us getting rewarded. So I think that's what you saw last weekend.
What are your emotions heading into this final weekend at home?
Oh man, I think it's exciting. Obviously, like, you try not to think about it being your last time on home ice. It'll obviously be emotional for all of us, because this place means so much and it's so special. But we all know that there's still a job that's, we got to get the job done. It's obviously 2 huge games in terms of standings and where we're going to end up in playoffs. So just going to try and look past all that emotional stuff and focus on the hockey.
Thanks, Grant.
Thank you, guys.